Well, hello, my beautiful Virgo. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam. Okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Virgo, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask, how are you doing? So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. And this reading tends to be very specific and precise. It may not resonate with all of you, so please take what works. Don't ever try to make anything fit, but it tends to be on the nose. So let us see what comes out for you and let us begin. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Virgo? What do they need to be aware of at this moment in time? Can you please show them the way? What are they moving through and what lies on the other side? Your starting card is the Lover's energy. So your kind of primary focus right now are the people around you, the things that you care about, of course, and what's in your heart and what you're manifesting. Now, the Lover's card at Grassroots is a choice card. So you're looking at your options in life. I feel a lot of you, there is an energy here of wanting to find a little bit more union in your life where everything starts to work together. A bit of a gear shift where perhaps you feel there's different compartments of your life that are existing separately and you're trying to spin all the plates in life, as it were, and you just want a bit of respite where it all co-aligns and it just feels a little bit easier to manage. That's something I'm definitely seeing there. That is your starting position, but you're definitely very thoughtful because no other cards have popped out at this moment in time. There we go. We have the crossing position of the Page of Pentacles. Now, this indicates that you are making a major effort in your life. You may feel like you're caught up in the practical side of life, trying to remain stable, of course, focus on your goals, dreams, and show up for yourself. But perhaps you're looking at your options right now to envisage some sort of new possibility or venture that you are manifesting or working hard to materialize. I feel there's this energy of you kind of looking at how far you've come and maybe even nostalgically look back at if there was anything that you would have done differently at this moment in time, because I'm getting a real nostalgia energy coming through, even though you don't have cards of nostalgia. Perhaps they're going to pop out shortly, I'm not sure. How would you like to receive? Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands. We've got the Page of Cups in the past position there as well. Now, the Seven of Wands is in the earthly plane position. So it indicates that there's a bit of pressure, challenge, maybe you're managing stress levels at this time. I feel that, of course, you're powering on through, you are focused, diligent, and you're in your prime. No matter what age you are, you're in your prime. I feel like you are, trying to enjoy the moment, be independent, and of course focus on your passions, which will of course push any obstacles out of your pathway if they are in your way. How would you like to receive? Okay, my guide said this one first, the Hierophant. We We also have the star energy. So a lot of you are just committed to your responsibilities, and perhaps you are trying to create a little bit more structure in your life. I mean, if you're someone who is single right now, you could be manifesting a soulmate that you will marry in your future. And it is an alignment relationship where you're meant to be with that person. Very healing energy, but you were meant to prioritize your own needs before you met this person so you could find balance in that relationship. But if you're in a relationship already, some of you may be taking the next stage with your partner, thinking about marriage, settling down. It doesn't have to be marriage. It can be just like committing to this relationship long term. And if you're already committed, married, or in a relationship, this could be that, you're making an effort to retain that spark in the relationship, not take each other for granted. And, there may have been some tension recently that perhaps you're trying to resolve. If you're having the same sort of conversations with your person, feeling a bit frustrated, it can be that, you're going to understand each other from a different level. Remember what you fell in love with each other in the first place for. And of course, the star is an understanding, seeing each other's viewpoint, getting clarity, and, reigniting that spark. But of course, this reading is about you. It's not about people or situations outside of yourself. I'm just highlighting some of the energy that's flowing through. When I touch all the cards individually and show you them, I will get back to, all this energy that is connected to you and what you're going through. I mean, what just popped out there, a 10 of Swords, that's in your advice to yourself in this moment. You've got a lot on your mind. I always say that you have a beautiful supercomputer of a brain, my beautiful Virgo. You're always thinking of your next chess move, maybe even 5 or 6 chess moves ahead of the move that you're making right now. Also, I feel, you have a lot on your to-do list. You're mentally exhausted. Perhaps you've, over committed in certain areas, or life is just a lot, and it's just a lot to think of. And that 10 of Swords can indicate that there's a lot of change that you're navigating right now, and it's hard. And you're trying to find clarity in all of these changes. You may feel the world has shifted in a way that perhaps is unrecognizable at this moment in time, because I certainly feel whatever this challenge is, a lot of you, it's outside of yourself, because the 3 of Swords is in the position that highlights the challenge, the sadness, the difficulty. It's something that perhaps has been thrust upon you and made you overthink, overanalyze, feel, a little bit cautious or anxious about something. So we will get to the heart of the matter in a moment. But that Lover's card is like you looking at your options in life. It is a foundation of you. Perhaps you want to come back to yourself because you feel that you have, in some way, lost your loving feeling for something, or you feel that there's been a bit of an inner battle because of some of the changes. And I mean, 7 of Wands is you standing up for what you believe in, your life philosophy, the life that you aspire to achieve, retain your sense of independence. So right now you could be redefining something within yourself that truly matters, and you're going to speak your truth. But also, I feel there is this energy of feeling a little bit more kind of like restless, that the world around you is changing. It feels like the pressure is being put on even more, and you're just preempting further change and acknowledging that it's difficult. You're paying attention, and especially since you have the Hierophant there, the Hierophant can indicate structures that are outside of yourself, establishments, for example, global establishments maybe, where you feel, especially with that 7 of Swords, some of you may feel that government structures or global structures are, not, how can I put that? Let's say they are not doing what they say they should be doing. They're reneging on promises, not following through. 7 of Swords can indicate that you see that there is something that's unfair, or you see that there is something that perhaps does not conform to what is being told to you right now, and you see that there is either a deception or that there is something you just do not trust in a situation. And with that star energy, you just want clarity. You just want to know where you're at. Okay, now this doesn't have to be global events. This can be something that is personal to you, that you are someone right now, for example, if you've been betrayed in the past, it can be that you've got a trust issue and that you're trying to learn to love again. especially let someone close to you. And, you know, with that Queen of Cups, if you're single, you're so ready to fall in love, but you may feel that some of your fears or your experiences have limited your options because it's so hard to allow someone to get close to you, because how can you trust love when it has, you know, disappointed you or caused pain? Because there is some sort of, you know, lament there, sadness, a grieving period. But I do see, because this reading is all about you, right? Not things outside of yourself. Of course, these things outside of yourself could have shaped who you are and how you're interacting with your world. And I feel like a lot of you are taking back your power here and really observing something to process it and heal it, because you do have that star energy right there. So whether you're healing from an unwellness or you're healing from a period of grief and sadness, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. It is a process, of course, and I see you navigating and reflecting on the way, but you will move through this process, and I feel like you will find a way to, I just say, manage it, like not really come to terms with it in terms of like letting it go and releasing it like it didn't matter. But I feel it's more that you learn to manage whatever this Three of Swords is. Now, I wish you didn't get these cards, you know, but I didn't choose them for you. They popped out. So whoever I'm dealing with right now, I can see that you're going through some challenge. But because this reading is about you, this could be that you are lamenting aspects of self. You feel that it's been really hard, and you may have had to compartmentalize a part of yourself that perhaps has a lot of joy and fun and is a little bit more spontaneous, and you've had to put that to the side to be more in favor of structure or responsibility. And you may feel that these changes were thrust upon you, and now you're navigating a new world full of pressure or a new pathway that feels really challenging for you right now. And you may miss the person that you feel like you used to be. I feel like you're still that person, but I feel you are responding to some sort of condition or experience that has made you reflect, be extra sensitive, seek comfort in all of the challenge, and, you know, find a way. I feel you're wishing for something here as well, something that you will have, you know, so whatever that is, it's going to be specific to you and very unique to you as well there. Now, this card, it is the Lover's card, so it is your protagonist foundation, as it were. And, you know, I feel a lot of you are noticing more when it comes to your heart space in what you want and what you attract. So some of you may have attracted some challenge, hardship, or perhaps people who take advantage of your kindness. You're someone who tends to be in service with that Queen of Cups energy. You're someone who has a lot of empathy. You're very sensitive. You pick up on the subtext or the undercurrent of what people are really saying, what they're really betraying with their body language as well. But you give so much to the people you care about. And for some of you, you know, with the Lover's card as a foundation card, it can be that someone close to you has revealed a different side of themselves, that you feel at conflict right now, or you feel that there's been some challenge, because we do have that Seven of Wands. This is two people kind of like exerting their independence, kind of battling away with conversations, or maybe going round and round circles with the same conversation. But again, I keep feeling like I'm being pulled outside of myself. So maybe you feel that like things have been really challenging and there's been a lot going on right now. You have a lot on your mind, and certainly a lot of things that you're doing right now to transform your future. And you haven't been afforded the luxury of really sitting with self in order to, you know, check in with yourself. So I feel this card, I mean, of course, it is a foundation card of choice. So you're looking at your next options in the path of you, as it were, so that you can aspire to something and you're ready, you're open to receive with that Queen of Cups there. But I feel a lot of you, there's this energy coming through right now, and it's twofold. One is you don't like letting anyone down. You tend to always be there. You're someone who tries to help everybody out. People who are close to you, of course. You have, you know, tight-knit inner circle. You don't, you know, let everyone into that inner circle. You're someone who is very discerning about the company that you keep. So it can be that right now, you know, you have felt a little bit of pressure or stress because you've been giving so much of yourself to others, and you're not going to change that about yourself, but you must not, forget about yourself and your own needs within that process. Okay, so there may be a little bit of neglect there when it comes to your own needs. So I feel a lot of you are trying to come home to yourself in that respect. But also, I'm being given a secondary energy here where it feels like you're looking at how you share your time, your energy, and you feel like there's things that you'd rather be doing right now, and you feel like you've never got enough time to do that. So this is about creating that time. It says here, choices, union, and love. I feel, you're trying to factor everything into your life right now, and it's hard to encompass everything because this is a card of unity, the whole of you and what you would want to achieve and the things that you desire to bring into your life. But also the Lover's card can be that you're trying to balance out difficult decisions right now. You're leaning into your motives, your life philosophy, and you're trying to examine, all aspects of your life to make sure it's in harmony. And you may feel like something is out of sync in some way because we do have the Page of Pentacles crossing you. Now, the Page of Pentacles is, of course, about effort. It is about commitment. It is also an energy where it's pretty practical and serious. So you may feel like there's loads of things that you'd love to be doing, but life has got pretty serious right now. You're under a lot of pressure, and it just feels like you're pushing on through. This is a card of perseverance, diligence, but also it can indicate that you're learning more about yourself. You're trying to be stable. You're making an effort, bringing your A game, but you may be at the start of a new pathway right now, and you're trying to be informed and navigate a decision. You're getting all the information before you align with whatever it is that you want to accomplish. When you get this card in the resistance position, you read it in the reverse as well as the upright, and it can indicate that just when you feel like you know where you're at, suddenly there's a spoke in the wheel. Suddenly there is trouble or challenge or a plot twist, and you're just so fed up with change, having to transform, navigate all the time. You don't mind change, but at the same time, I feel looking at the Seven of Wands, which is pressure, stress, managing things, challenging yourself to step outside of your comfort zone. You may be even trying to navigate a new exciting path, one that is not really tried and tested by you. And we've got that Ten of Swords, which means cerebrally, you're exhausted and, you may be feeling a little bit bereft. You're doing a lot of questioning right now. You are ending patterns, cycles, or repeat, especially with people. Perhaps there is a conflict that you're removing yourself from, or perhaps there is a certain pathway that you explored and you feel it's no longer for you. And it's hard. It feels like maybe there is a gear shift or a change in direction. Not quite a restart, but a navigational shift is what I'm seeing. But it leads to the place where you feel fulfilled. And sometimes as well, there is another energy coming through that because you care so much about the people around you, but also your goals, your dreams, and the things that you're aspiring to achieve. You put a lot of pressure on yourself to achieve those things. You're doing a great job with the resources that you have. I want you to be aware of that if you're not already. But the Ten of Swords can indicate that pressure helps you shift your perspective, but also shape your world. And that extra pressure is because you care so much about the outcome. You don't want to fail. The Ten of Swords can be about failure, fear of failure, fear of things like collapsing or not working in your favor. It literally says here, failure, collapse, and defeat. Okay, so it can be that because you've invested your whole heart and soul into something with that Lover's card and you've been making such an effort, you may feel the world right now is coming with extra pressure. It just feels like it's hard to push on through, and you're worried that perhaps, the world keeps moving the goalposts, and you're just when you know where you're at, you feel like suddenly there's a gear shift or the carpet is pulled from underneath you, and you're like, you know what? I can't believe it. It's just changed, or this has happened. It just feels like it's a lot right now and exhausting. I feel a lot of you are exhausted. And, with the Lover's card, because it is a foundation card, and I feel you have a lot on your mind, with that Ten of Swords, it means there are multiple thoughts a mile a minute going on in that beautiful brain of yours. And it can indicate that, with that Lover's card, you get an option as to what you focus on. And if it makes you feel like there are intrusive thoughts or negative thoughts that are tearing you down, you get to choose to step away from the thoughts. I mean, easier said than done. I know it requires practice, but this is an energy of, oh, thanks so much. I'm so grateful. My guides gave me something just now, and I was like, oh, okay. They even gave me a taste of something as well. I rarely taste anything in readings, but I will bank that, and I'll tell you that in a moment. But I feel it's more that you're invested in something and you're going to follow it through to the end. You're not going to give up on it, and you're going to be so proud of yourself that you did, because there's a lot of reward and success here. It feels like a wish, and it feels like you're aligning, and there's a lot of exciting energy around this where you're inspired, you're moving on through, but also I feel like you get your wish. The star is to align with a wish, to be hopeful, to regenerate your life in some way, whether this is financially, whether it's in terms of your relationships, friendships, for example. But my guides gave me, so I'm going to mention it. I was talking about the 10 of Swords there, which means basically you have so many thoughts on your mind. So it can mean, that's why I feel like right now in your reading, I'm jumping from thought to thought to thought. And it just feels like it's sometimes not connected. But that may be what you're going through right now, because you're thinking of so many things to run your life. But what I was given by my guides was, you're being aware of any energy vampires in your life. And then I had the most monumental taste of garlic in my mouth. And I was like, now I don't mind garlic, of course, but I was like, oh, so this can be that you are protecting yourself against energy vampires. So the core of you right now, you're looking at relationships and anyone who, is negative, or anyone who is power playing with you, triggering you, or anyone who is not coming towards you with love and support. I feel like you're being very guarded in your energy, protecting your energy regarding these people, because you don't want to get involved in other people's drama. You've got something to do. You're invested in something and you don't want to waste your time. Now, you're aware that you're not responsible for other people's happiness. There are some people in this world that no matter what you do, they are never happy, but it is not your job or your responsibility to make that person happy. That's their responsibility. Your responsibility is you. So I feel a lot of you may be shifting a dynamic in a relationship right now to protect your time, your energy, and make sure that you invest a little bit more in you at this time. Doesn't mean you're not going to be there for that person. Doesn't mean you don't care about that person. Doesn't mean that you're not going to try and help them when they need help, or have fun with them when you're having fun. But you're not responsible for it. There's a difference. So that's coming out there very strongly. Now it says ambition, desire, and diligence. So I feel like you're being very patient, working towards something right now. And a lot of you are reinvesting in self, trying to find time to focus on your body, mind, and soul. This is an earthly bound card. So that means that, you're looking at your body's needs. For some of you right now, I feel on a personal level, there could be this energy where you feel a little bit tense, or you're looking at high cortisol levels at this moment and triggers for that. You may notice that you have a vitamin deficiency, or you may be noticing that like your hormones are a little bit off, and you will get clarity on what it is that is missing. I mean, it could be a mineral as well there, but I feel like you're going to find something or discover that something's been just a little bit out of balance there, and it will bring you back into balance. That's something that's coming through there as well. But the earthly plane position right now is the Seven of Wands. You're not giving up on something. I feel like you're defending what you believe in. I feel like you're standing up for your rights on something. I feel like you're owning your power, maybe even taking back your power. This is a very independent card. I feel like you're the sort of person that has learnt that life is challenging, and that you are a best friend to yourself, that you've got your own back. And I feel, of course, this is potentially that you've noticed mounting pressure within yourself, and you're aware, maybe even people around you are aware as well, that you've been under a lot of strain. And I feel that this is you kind of like protecting your energy a little bit more, or noticing what triggers you so that you can step away from that, okay? But also the Seven of Wands is an energy of being in control of your life. going the distance on something. It is about, sustained effort. You've got the card of diligence. You're powering on through. You're unstoppable in your energy. You're trusting that your visions will become a reality. But this is you needing to live life on your own terms and not other people's. So I definitely see here, especially with the Hierophant, there could have been someone who has tried to influence you in a pathway, maybe even like question your pathway, and I'm just going to give you an example. This could be a family member or a friend where you're talking over your ideas and saying, oh, I'm going to do this. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. That's different. I mean, good luck and everything, but that's hard. And you're like, okay, I know it's hard, but I've got the skills, I got the talent, I'm ready for the journey, I'm going to power on through, I'm going to be a success. And they're like, okay, yeah, great, and I hope you are. But there's always that tone where you're like, okay, you are trying to either make me second guess myself, question the path, or, you're putting a negative spin on it, because there's something here regarding thoughts. And the Hierophant, it just feels like it's separate from you. It feels like there's a belief, extra belief here. And you're shutting out anyone who is trying to make you question your belief in yourself or question your belief in your path. You're believing in yourself and you're taking things to the next level, and you will achieve what you set out to achieve. There's a lot of success here, okay? So I would say protect yourself against negative people or people who don't understand your mission or your sense of purpose. That's okay. It's not their path, it's yours. As long as you understand your mission and lean into your talents and believe in yourself, you're going to make a major difference in your life. And any naysayers, they're normally very cautious because perhaps they couldn't achieve what you're trying to, and they're just, maybe even coming from a place of love and a place of concern. But just because they didn't have the tools or the opportunities that are being made available to you doesn't mean that their experience is going to be the same as yours. So there could be a generational shift there because of that Hierophant. Now, Seven of Wands and the Hierophant, these are opposing energies. So there could be this energy of you being a maverick, being like a rebel, daring to do something, being, a person who challenges a status quo or challenging a way of doing something. There's an energy here as well, standing up for your beliefs, because those two cards literally mean that in combination. But it says here, mounting a defense, maintaining control. And I would say this could also be a little bit of an inner battle, okay? You may be working out a new way of doing something or feeling like you want a radical change in your life right now, but also there's a structure that you have in your life right now, and you want to be a bit more spontaneous, a little bit more like pushing the boundaries in your life just to keep life fresh and interesting. And you may be like controlled by the structure at this moment in time, if that makes sense. We all have a life that kind of comes with a structure that we've built, like a habit, a routine. So it can be that you're trying to push against routine, acknowledge that structure works really well for you to be efficient, but at the same time, you're yearning for more and you're putting yourself under a little bit more pressure, maybe like even competing with your past self to be better than you were yesterday or last year. And you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And I feel like it's going to make you feel a little bit sensitive, but also proud, because the star energy indicates that there's a brand new you emerging. I mean, this could even be a period where you're actually facing fears. If you have a fear of heights, for example, it could be that suddenly you're going to do more things that pushes the boundaries to make you confront your fears. Because the Ten of Swords, all about the mind, your fears, your anxieties, maybe even intrusive thoughts. You may decide that you're going to confront your intrusive thoughts, especially when you're about to be monumentally successful and, you're stepping into periods where things are going to go super well for you. You may be having these doubts, or suddenly the whisper comes like, what if you fail? And you're like, well, what if I fly? You're like, shut up already. I'm doing what I got to do. So you may be battling yourself there as well, noticing when those intrusive thoughts come on in to threaten to tear you down in some way. And also, I feel that this is you conquering intrusive thoughts, okay? And I feel sometimes those intrusive thoughts come when there is monumental pressure. You put extra pressure upon yourself. You tend to be a little bit more critical on yourself than Other people tend to be critical on themselves, but I feel like you're starting to really witness this and call yourself out on it and try and raise yourself up rather than tear yourself down. This may be something you've battled with for a long time, but I also see that just when you're about to experience a win, I'm just getting this energy that sometimes because of the experiences you've had in life, because I'm getting an energy of life has shaped you. You've been through some stuff, right? And sometimes when things go really well, because you have a Lover's card as a foundation energy, which means things come into unity, into balance in some way. When things are going well, suddenly you're like, okay, things are going a little bit too well right now. It's almost like you're preempting the change, preempting the sadness. Where is the disappointment? You know what? It's almost like you protect yourself by envisaging worst case scenario so that you are prepared for it. And I feel sometimes when a person, no matter your experiences, but if you've gone through something challenging or traumatic, sometimes we have to acknowledge that we're just not experiencing those things and becoming a stronger person. It really affects you all over, especially you, my beautiful Virgo. It will affect your digestive tract. You may feel like, butterflies in your tummy, things feel off, food sensitivities, and things like that when you get extra sensitive or extra pressure on you or worry. It manifests in the gut for you in particular. So you may be kind of acknowledging that because you've been through some stuff and you have been challenged in the past, if you're preempting that there may be more of the same, or, you get into a cycle or structure that is like when happiness and joy are presented to you, you're like, what's the catch? Where's the fly in the ointment? And I feel like, right now, if you've been through those experiences where you've had sadness, challenge, disappointment, you've been grieving, there's an energy here of you learning to accept that joy and happiness can be a consistent, never-ending part of your life, that you can trust that it will be for you and it will stick around. This is you making sure that life and your challenges will not harden your heart, because you're a beautiful soul. You're lovable both inside and out. You have a different way of thinking. You're always caring about people so much. Sometimes at the cost of yourself. Just watch out for that. Come back and remember yourself in all of that. Do not abandon yourself for other people's needs all the time. That's something that's very important there. But I feel this is about you finding comfort, that joy is for you. Happiness, reward, success. It is for you, and it is long lasting. Not going to be taken away from you. Okay, so I'm sending you a huge hug out there if that's something that you have been going through. But I do see a change for the better for you there. Have faith in the path and you shall receive this wish or this reward, whatever this is. In the past position, we have the Page of Cups. Innocent heart. You approach every situation with an open heart until, of course, you are taught otherwise. But I feel a lot of you with this Page of Pentacles, it's changed from a Page of Cups to a Page of Pentacles as a crossing position. So it tells me that a lot of you, life got serious or heavy, or there's just more responsibility and duty, and it just feels like it's hard right now. This is a card of, happiness, happy surprises, but it's in your past position. It literally says there, happy, surprise, dreamer, sensitivity. So it's almost like your playful side or your happiness. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't see that you're under pressure, stressed, or sad all the time, right? There's moments. I just feel like you're acknowledging right now that, yeah, Baba, it's really tough right now. And you may feel that part of your emotions or that frivolous side of you has been locked down based on some sort of change. You've had to compartmentalize your feelings in some way. And you may feel that, you want to get back to that. You want to rediscover that spark. You want to reconnect your emotions. Because a lot of you, with the Seven of Wands, that's fight or flight mode right there. Survival mode even, and we've got the Ten of Swords. Something monumentally changed or came to an end or felt destructive for you right now, and you're trying to make sense of it. For some of you, this could be that the world is challenging and you're trying to make sense of that. And, at one stage in your past, because this card is in the past position, it feels like you just wanted to fulfill your heart, go about your goals, your dreams, and you're envisaging new pathways for your future. And then suddenly, boom, Ten of Swords. Something shifted changed or was destructive in some way, and it called your attention to a certain way of thinking. So it may be that suddenly you had a bit of a wake-up call, or, you are noticing that certain circumstances are indicating a collapse of a way of doing something. I mean, you have the Hierophant, which is a structure, and something in your life that was a structure seems to be breaking down right now, whether this is a friendship, relationship, whether this is you walking away from things that do not align with your heart, whether it is you protecting your energy from people who try to trigger you, or circumstances or toxicity, or whether it is you noticing that structures globally are shifting and you're uncertain about these changes. I feel like you're doing a lot of questioning right now, and it feels like that, that playful side of you got caught in the crossfire of life. As we mature, sometimes one of the hardest things to retain is our sense of wonder, curiosity, playfulness, and that childlike spirit, because that's what this card represents. It represents you knowing yourself and tapping into your childlike spirit and your innocence and your curiosity. And sometimes life does not afford us the luxury of being so frivolous, especially when there's responsibility, especially when there's pressure, especially when you have to confront things day to day and power on through. This is you also trying to somehow protect that inner spark. Try and be inspired even in the stresses and strains of life. But also it is about you maybe even battling away with confidence. And you're seeing yourself in a new way now. I feel like as you mature, you are building in confidence, but don't allow that to rob you of that playful, childlike spirit as well. Because people who have to be strong, this is an energy that you're strong. You're a very strong person. You've been through some stuff. And strong people, they wear invisible suits of armor. But underneath that, that tough exterior, a lot of sensitivity. The world has been hard or cruel or presented challenges to you that you thought really shocked you. And I feel like you're doing a great job with what you're going through right now. And the Hierophant indicates that you're committed to something that you are working hard towards that will actually transform your life and bring security. Believing in yourself is so important. And I feel like you are holding true to who you are, but do not forget about that little playful side of you, okay? Now it says here, tradition, legacy, and society. So, looking at the energy, the Ten of Swords, some of you may feel like society has lost its way in some way. You may feel that everybody is witnessing a lot of struggle, strain, challenge. That is the case, of course. There's some people that are not. But even in your circumstances, if you're thriving, there's still a lot of pressure on you to maintain and sustain. So I see that because this is a maintain and sustain card right there. But the Hierophant, it can also set you thinking about your legacy, what you stand for, what you believe in. A lot of you will be thinking about, your pathway towards retirement, thinking about making sure that you're secure, you and your family, all the commitments that you have, because you care. You're bringing your A game, you're holding it all together. You're confronting things that are challenging so that you can build a legacy. It's hard, okay? And it does get easier for you. Portal of opportunity is opening up for things to get brighter for you, for more hope to return there as well. But, of course, with the Hierophant energy, this can indicate that you're leaning into your life philosophy, because that's what this card means. And with that Seven of Wands there, you're standing up for what you believe in. And I also feel that some of you may crave more community, because you're looking at relationships with the Lovers card. So some of you may have witnessed relationships evolving, changing, you're outgrowing, and you may be seeking more integration in community, but with people who align with you. Now, you're not afraid to have a debate with someone who has opposing views. I feel like you actually accept those views. You really challenge them and really see them, unpick them, build them together. You express your own. That is the nature of understanding. We cannot really 100% form our opinions based on just what we think. It can be your experiences, it can be other people's experiences, it can be information outside of those parameters that also inform us. So I feel like you're the sort of person who would see another person's point of view and say, okay, I seek to understand it. I seek to really see it. Doesn't mean I agree with it. I can have opposing views with it, but I seek to understand, because your experience is not going to be another person's experience. I mean, you can even be in the same family, and two people's experience, siblings, they can have a different experience based on their perception. Same as if you work in the same office as a person, and maybe you're in the same department, doing pretty much the same job, maybe getting the same pay. You will still both have a different perspective on how you feel about the role, how you're treated, how the people interact with you, the relationships. It's all about perception, but I feel this is about encompassing, this understanding and fostering this knowledge of like, okay, they're going through that, so there must be something to that, otherwise they wouldn't feel it. But this is my experience, and that is true for me, and I hold that as my truth, and I defend that as my truth, but I'm willing to learn or be open, because the Queen of Cups is an understanding card. It is an empathy card. It's like, I understand what you're going through, but I'm going through this as well. Can we find a co-alliance in that? Can we complement each other and help each other in that? So some of you may be looking at people who are really close to you, who are also going through something, and you acknowledge it, and you may be affected by it as well, or not, but you're going through something as well. And it's like, can you both lean in and support, understand, offer empathy, but at the same time not forget yourselves in the process? There's something in that coming out as well. Now, we do have the Star. So the Star is clarity. A lot of you are trying to work out the next steps, and sometimes it's okay not to have the answers, but to trust your intuition and hold your truth as something that you feel is correct in that moment, unless you're proven otherwise, but also factoring a lot of other things in there. The Star is your vision of the future. It means that it's actually in the future position as well. There's a brighter future for you to look forward to, and something you're wishing for will align with you. But also, I feel, even though things are challenging right now, believe in yourself and hope for that brighter future, because it's coming. I definitely see you're powering on through something that's challenging. And as I said, I didn't choose the cards for you, my beautiful Virgo. I wish you didn't get that Ten of Swords as your advice to yourself in this moment. You're acknowledging that it's hard, but I feel like there's a reset or a mindset sort of transformation here where you're having an epiphany, a realization that, if you hold in your heart that all is well, you will start to see a bit of a shift, and one small shift will lead to a larger shift. Easier said than done, I know. Many years ago, everything for me was falling apart. Like my whole life, everything that I built that was just holding everything together. I had several jobs, everything was just like going, and I was exhausted and powering on through. Suddenly I was sent a tower. You do not have a tower here. I want you to be aware of that, okay? But I was sent a tower and everything just fell away. And I was like, oh my gosh, and now I got nothing. And then it was like a little reminder, well, you got your family, so you're lucky. You have friendship circle, you're lucky. You have your health, you're lucky. Come back to the basics, the simplistic kind of core of you. And it wasn't really a start again. It was kind of an acknowledgement that I'd been trying too hard, that life had been so pressurized that I wasn't trusting the process. I was always holding on, I used to say to myself, I'm like a clown. I'm juggling all the time, but actually I'm never going anywhere. I'm just doing, and I'm not having any quality of life. Okay, so the universe made some major revamp structures in my life just fall away. And suddenly all the good stuff started coming. And I was like, oh my gosh. Things started to become easier. And I feel you're at a pathway point right now where you're letting go of something that is hard, or you're envisaging a new pathway. There's a new beginning here for you, that's for sure. And it may thrust you out of your comfort zone, whether it's a new job, new environment, new relationship, new experience, new country, whatever it is for you. I definitely see here it's going to align you with a wish and how you desire your life to be. You're holding that vision. Because, that Queen of Cups, there's literally a window of opportunity. But also it's like, what is that vision? What can you see right now? And what is preventing you from getting to where you want to go? Whatever it is, you're letting it go. you're reimagining in some way. And the star says hope, faith, and rejuvenation. So a lot of you may be in a period of not just revamping your life, but your thoughts, your sense of positivity, your acknowledgement that you do deserve happiness, you do deserve reward. You've been working so hard for it. So I feel this is about, maybe some of you with that Hierophant, it's a generational cycle that you are ending, and it is so hard. So if you've witnessed like parents or guardians wrestling with something, you are the person who is confronting it head on so that it stops now. Whether that's a money block, whether that's a habit formation, whether it is, unlearned triggered behavior, triggered responses, whether it is hurt people, hurting people, it stops now with you. You are a healing force with that star energy. And, I feel like a lot of you are going through a healing process in your life to cathartically cleanse or free yourself up from something that has been challenging. The Ten of Swords can be a freedom. It is in your advice to yourself in this moment. So we've got failure, collapse, and defeat. A lot of you may be, worried about change or worried about not making something work. Being defeated, I actually see that you're leaning into your intuition. And, with that Seven of Swords, you are being independent. Three of Swords, it's hard right now, but the star energy indicates that you get your wish. That there is something that is in your future that is exciting, that will make you literally celebrate, okay? But it's an acknowledgement that it's hard. But this person is a victor. This person is victorious. They stand proud, overcoming something that has either limited them, tried to tear them down, whether that's your own thoughts, whether that is circumstances outside of yourself, because circumstances outside of yourself, we got the Three of Swords right there, okay? So this can indicate that, you often feel misunderstood by people. You want the best for people, and sometimes if you give them advice, you may feel like they take it the wrong way, but actually you're just trying to offer, your 2 cents about something that perhaps you've experienced yourself, especially if you're a parent, or you have a partner. It can be that you've been through something and you're trying to acknowledge, this is my truth, this is my lesson, and maybe you need to acknowledge my lesson so that you don't repeat what I went through, because I feel a lot of you are trying to help others, but it may come across differently, or you may feel misunderstood sometimes. But it says here, heartbreak, suffering, and grief. So a lot of you, this can be that you're grieving an old part of yourself, or you're grieving a certain lifestyle choice or a decision, and you are acknowledging that that's now in the past. You're letting it go and you're moving on. For some of you, not all of you, and this is only if you've come to this reading and you're experiencing this, because of course not all of you are experiencing this, and this is something that you're going through right now. It's not something to come. The future position is the star, which is healing, okay? But if you have gone through a period of bereavement, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. The Ten of Swords can mean, someone has transitioned, passed away, someone who is no longer on this earthly plane position, and you think about them all the time, but you really feel the absence of their existence. But actually they want you to be aware they're around you, especially when you're going through stuff. They hear you. They're trying to give messages to you there as well. And even if the relationship was very complex, I feel there's a lot of unconditional love there, and you're going to get messages to acknowledge that they're still around you, protecting you, that their love lives on, and that their memory of them lives on in you as well. That's coming through there. And they know it's hard, and they understand that we all grieve, but they want you to be happy. They want you to find a way back to joy and to happiness, and to live in the moment, and, find peace in that as well. So that's coming through there. Do ask for a specific sign. Actually, I'm being shown a symbol in the water right now, and it actually connects to a career reading that I did for you. I think you got like, something about gold in your reading, because I'm seeing bars of gold right now. So this can mean like you're secure. It could be like a golden opportunity. It could mean that you're worth your weight in gold. Remember that. It can be that, value yourself, and maybe, they wish they'd told you on the earthly plane how much they really value you, but maybe they didn't, because sometimes people, especially certain generations, they find it hard to express their feelings, different generations, we become more sensitive each generation as it passes. So it can be that there's an acknowledgement there, but I'm just seeing gold bars in the water. Okay, so I just want you to be aware of that. But with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove myself from that energy and move forward there. Now, Seven of Swords, this is a hope and a fear. Some of you fear being lied to, deceived, or not having the information. That's why you're always trying to put yourself 3 or 4 steps ahead in the game of life, as it were. But because we do have the Hierophant, which is an establishment card, some of you may mistrust the way that the world or the governments are being run right now. You feel it's unfair, putting extra pressure. You just feel like it's stifling things, or there's a destruction, an implosion on itself with that Ten of Swords right now. And you're unsure about how things are going to go for you, your family, the legacy that you're leaving. So a lot of you may be scrambling to find a way to protect your finances or protect what you worked really hard for. And with the Queen of Cups there, I feel this is for you to know that you can breathe, be calm in all of these decisions. Take comfort in the fact that you are secure. Okay, I want you to be aware of that, because sometimes fear and anxiety, because that's what the Ten of Swords is all about. No matter your circumstances, we all worry about something. It can literally rob you of joy. So I feel this is about returning to joy and not allowing fear, anxiety, or, a fear of the future, what is to come, rob you of the present moment. Okay, relax. Now, Seven of Swords is often a misunderstood card. It actually means to be independent. It also means to find a way to limit confrontation. So it can be that, if you've had any conflict with a person, you may be diplomatically trying to articulate your needs from a healthy space, and you feel that you are being honest and open. And whilst you may feel that sometimes you're misunderstood in that, and it's very hard to have a dialogue with somebody that is causing a lot of conflict right now, love will win the day. This person will see that you have the best intentions in whatever it is you're talking about. But, the Seven of Swords, there is a figure on the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, because this is a wonderful card, okay? As you can see, this figure, is illuminated from the crown chakra. So this means that you see things that other people don't see, whether that's personally in your relationships or in governmental structures or world events. It can be that you see that there is a monumental challenge right now where freedoms are kind of challenged, or you feel that something under the surface is not right and you're trying to understand it more. You're hoping for a brighter future, which will come for you. I see that there. But the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot has a figure running off in stealth mode. So a lot of you may be going under the surface in order to focus on your projects at this time. And, that figure is actually taking 5 swords. They could take 6 because they've got 3 swords in one arm, but only 2 in the other. But they've had to be quick. So, they've misstepped. They mean to return to something. So some of you, there is this energy of feeling like you need to make an important decision right now. You want to get all the facts because you don't want to misstep. And I feel like you won't. You're going to get clarity and you're going to feel comfortable in your decisions and you're on the right path. But also, this is an energy of removing the weaponry from the army. That's what the card depicts on that card. Although this card's wonderful, the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot gives the actual meaning of the card pictorially in the card itself. And it basically means you're trying to find a diplomatic way to resolve an issue, heal a rift, or heal something. This could be within yourself, doesn't have to be with other people. But because you've got the Lovers card, this can be about relationships. This could be a relationship with your neighbor, with your boss, with a family member, with your spouse or your partner. It could be with anybody, really. So I feel that with that Seven of Swords there, in the position that it's in, you're hoping to rectify a situation or resolve a situation. And because the Star is there, I feel like you will. Okay? It's important to recognize that there's healing in this situation. Now, the hope and a fear with that Seven of Swords is you hope to be independent, you hope to retain your freedom, you hope to accomplish your goals, you hope that, things don't pressurize you into a position where you feel like you've got no choice, because, of course, you've got the Lovers card as your foundation, which is the choice card there. And the fear, is all of those things. But also, the Seven of Swords in the resistance position, because you read the reverse in this position as well as the upright, it means that, being able to make amends with a person that you're at conflict with, or, conquer the inner battle, or even, have respite from some of the challenges that you've been experiencing. A lot of you are also exploring alternative paths right now, or lifestyle changes and choices, and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed with some of those decisions or options that you're looking at right now, but the right one will become clear to you, and you're not making a misstep. As long as you investigate the way, don't feel rushed into it, get all the facts, you're making the right decision, okay? Now, Queen of Cups is your outcome energy. You're very sensitive. You're someone who is open to more. You understand what you need to do. And if you're searching for new friends, I definitely see that you're going to meet a person who truly understands you, listens without trying to influence you. And I feel like you will build a solid friendship with this person. But also, this is you ready to fall in love with your life again, but imagining the vision that you want to see on the other side of that window. And that is you connecting with your heart space to something you manifest. Remember, the Lover's card is a vibrational frequency in your heart. It is a magnet. What you're putting out right now is attracting something into your life. Yes, if there's fear, anxiety, you're going to connect to that vibration. So just be mindful of that. Easier said than done, I know. The world is a very complex place right now. But I see that you are connecting to something that's going to bring you joy, something that you would love to happen. The star is there that indicates you're going to have a wish, and it is in alignment with your heart space. We got the Chariot. So this is movement, improvement, but also it is about you ending up in the destination that you seek to be in. The Chariot card is you having willpower to push on through. And it says here, continue your struggle and the end you seek will be achieved. So you're going through a lot right now, but the rewards are going to be worth it. Honor, acclaim, and recognition are all possible outcomes for you if you do not quit. And you're not quitting on something. You're going the distance. You're not giving up on it. But also, I feel this is about you being appreciated, being truly seen for who you are, the efforts you're making, and the people around you, they really do value you. They may not say it every day, but I feel over the course of the next coming months and years, you're going to see how much value they place upon you. And that there's a lot of love, and I feel a lot of respect there as well, but people just don't talk about it sometimes. And maybe you're going to have those dialogues with the people you care about very, very soon, okay? So I'm just going to go pull a trinket for you right now. Ooh. I just heard from my guys, dig a little bit deeper. So I thought, okay. So we have a lightning bolt. So this can indicate more energy, but also transformation, change. I mean, the lightning bolt is sudden epiphanies, definitely connected to the Ten of Swords there, but also it can be radical change. It requires a lot of effort to make a change. And if you think about, lightning, it is a storm. It releases pressure. Pressure builds up in the atmosphere. Lightning comes along and dissolves the pressure. And you've been under a lot of pressure. So I feel like you're being sent a divine intervention right now in order to release the pressure. I love that. We've got peace. Okay, so we got the peace symbol here as well. Peace of mind, feeling safe, secure, and acknowledging that sometimes we all go through a storm and storms pass. And you are stronger than your struggles. And, sometimes we got to acknowledge that tough times don't last. Tough people do. And you're one tough cookie. Okay. So I'll leave it there, my beautiful Virgo. I hope something resonates in this reading for you. Thank you so much, and love and light.